Hello again, guys and gals. I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to American Outback. And we have our road train of new equipment making its way to the farm. It's been an interesting drive. The weight is kind of moving the tractor around a little bit, so it's not particularly stable. But we've arrived. We are where we need to be. So let's disconnect from the trailer. There we go. Let's disconnect the lily. I don't know if this thing's actually going to be able to cover the entire feed pit. It's a really long feed trough. I'm just wondering if this thing's actually going to be able to cope with the entire thing. I need to close that down. There we go. Why isn't it giving me the option to unload? Ah. Okay, so it'll let me unload there. So let me dump out the back. Just going to try and keep picking it up, isn't it? Right, are we about halfway? This is going to be an interesting challenge, this. Getting this lined up nicely. I think we're a bit too far forward. Let's jump out a sec. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be about half distance. So let's change the angle all the way up. How far does it go? 6,000, okay. And let's hire a worker. Why won't he move? Dismiss. Don't tell me the ground is too uneven. I think the ground might be too uneven for this thing to work. I really hope that's not the case. Come on, move, please. Is it because he's full? Might be because he's full. Alright, well, let's get it lined up. I have to think about how to do this now. Let's see if we can scoop up that grass using our new fork. Yes, we can. So let's at least clear the grass out of the way first, because I've got a feeling that might possibly what's causing the issue. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just need to do a little bit more. There we go. That's all of the grass done. So let's tip that in. Ah, nuts. Maybe it's because it's not recognising it as something that can be tipped in there. It should do, because we can do it with a mixer. Ah well. Let's go tip this around the corner with the rest of the grass. And now the Juno should work. Now that we've cleared all of the grass out of the way. That won't tip either. Why won't that tip? What is going on with my animals? Why can't I tip the grass? Right, well, let me tip it in as chaff. Yes, it will. Sort of. It won't tip me. Let me tip the last little bit. Alright. Okay. Back to the Juno. We are going to get this resolved. I hope. So there we go. This is about the halfway spot. Looks pretty straight to me. Hire worker. Doesn't want to move. Dismiss worker. Let's try moving closer to the trough. Hire worker. Doesn't want to move. Let's change the angle right down. Still doesn't want to move. Why isn't it moving? Is it because it's inside the trough? It's still not working. It's still not working. Alright, let's try it on the road. If it moves on the road... I really don't understand what's going on with this thing or why it's not working. It's not working there either. What is going on with the Juno? Why has it suddenly stopped working? This was a fantastic mod. Oh, hang on. Cruise control set at 0. Maybe that's why it's not moving. It was the cruise control. I'm such a muppet. How on earth did I manage to turn the cruise control off there? Oh well. At least we know what was wrong with it and we fixed it. So, let's see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bit. Let's get a little bit closer. There we go. That should cover us. We look to be in a pretty straight line. Alright. So, to change the angle back up again, we'll go to 5,000. test the distance. This thing's going to be slow, unfortunately. And I think because I've got that little bit of grass, it's not going to pick up, but at least I can test the angle. And also how close I'm staying to the feed trough. Looking pretty good. Okay, so 5,000 is too far. So we can cover the entire trough, that's good to know. And what we'll do as well is we'll dump out that little bit of grass that's going to cause issues. God damn it. It's just going to keep doing this. I don't know how to stop it from picking up. Alright. I'll have to scoop that tiny little bit of grass. Because otherwise, you know, the Juno is not going to accept anything else in it if it's already got something in it. I got 13. Where's the other 2? Please don't be inside the Juno. No, Juno is empty. Okay, good. I wish I knew what that that thing does there that spins at the front. I have no idea what that does. So if you do know, please do let me know in the comments. I've always wondered what that's for at the front. Never known. We need to get closer. There we go. Right, so we can close the lid. We know the angle's too good or too big. So let's set the angle for 4,000. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. That should work. Let's move the tractor out of the way. Still want to accept that little bit of grass. I hate the way the game does this sometimes. You get a bit of material that just doesn't quite register properly. It's usually grass, and you can't do anything with it. See, it won't go where grass is supposed to go. So I'm going to be a little bit naughty, and I'm going to do some dumping. Well, we're going to dump it where it can't be found. In theory, we're going to dump it in the river. There we go. Naughty, naughty. Needs must, though. Actually, that's not a bad entry point for water. It's better than what I use. Well, got to get back up. That might be tough. We can try. Oop, nearly crashed. So now that the Juno is up and running, hopefully the new angle of 4,000 degrees is enough. So we can start shoveling manure and then get some water, and we can go and get our greenhouses up and running. So let's see, is the Juno covering? Oh, look at that. It's getting to the very end. That's beautiful. You got to about the end. Let's check the tyre tracks on the other end. Can't really see. We'll double check as he comes back up. I need to turn the display off anyway. I'm just going to have to remember as well, I need to keep restarting this thing every time I reload the farm. That gap looks to be fairly steady, fairly constant, so yeah, look at that. Look, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Fantastic. So, to turn him off, get rid of the display. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a quarter. And start worker. Beautiful. Our Lily Juno is good to go. So let's start shoveling some manure. Very careful not to knock the Juno off its course. Look at that. Big scoops of manure there. Ooh, a little bit back heavy, or top heavy. Just have to be wary of that. Ah, we have an additional camera on this because of the tool. So we have the in-cab, we have the tool camera, and the tractor camera. That's cool. I like that. That's not the first one of these CSZ tools that's given us an additional camera. I like that. This could become my new favourite front loader toolkit, the CSZ pack, because there's so many different options, so many different tools that we can use. That that mod pack pretty much covers everything you'll need. It won't necessarily give you the largest equipment, but it gives you some of the prettiest and most functional equipment. I mean, I don't need to do it, but look, I mean, I can do that. It's a good sized manure scoop, 3,500 there. Love it. How much more can we get in there? And the next question when we do get over there to the greenhouses is can we tip into the greenhouse, or are we going to need to shovel from a loose pile over there? That could be interesting. I don't think there's a grain door on the back of this, but I might be wrong. Whoa! Well, that's pretty much full, I think. It's more than enough for the 2 greenhouses that we've got, anyway, to keep them going for quite a while, which is good. So, let's go sort out some water. We'll keep the claw with us, just in case. That's what, 80% of the trailer? That's fine. So we've got a water tower at the farm, which we could use, but we don't exactly have a lot of money. And you can see that our money has actually gone up since we started, and I think I've already got water in the greenhouses. I must have. It's the only way I could actually be generating money at this point, is if there is already money in the greenhouses generating a crop income from our tomatoes. Now, will I be able to get back up here? This is the question, because that's quite steep. And, you know, although this has, what, 270 horsepower, it's still, you know, a big trailer. You know, 32,000 litre trailer. It has a fair bit of weight of its own. I need to be down there, don't I? Yeah, that's where I need to be. It has a fair bit of weight of its own, and then when we add in the 32,000 litres of water that it's carrying, it could become an issue. And actually, thinking about it, can I actually fill up this from a water source like this? Yes, I can. So this is the last remaining series that we have that is completely, well, at least for Farming Simulator, that is completely unedited. You know, whatever happens, happens. And, you know, we've used up half an episode trying to configure a Lely Juno and shovel a little bit of manure, and that's all we've done. Now, we have 2 episodes a week at the moment of American Outback. So, I mean, if you're all happy to continue with this style of recording for this series, I will continue to do that. However, if you would like me to apply the same editing to this series that I'm applying to Big Bud, Fent Farm and Massey Manor, then let me know in the comments section, and we will change the way we do our recordings for American Outback as well. I see this is a really heavy trailer. I'm trying to push it up the hill rather than pull it up the hill. It's working, kind of. There we go. Now I can get free. But yeah, if you would like to keep the original style of recording that we've been doing since day one, and how I used to record all of my farm sim videos, where basically I just press record, run for however long, and then stop recording, and that's it. Whatever is captured is what's captured. Then I will continue to do that. But if you would rather see American Outback get the same editing treatment that Big Bud gets, that Massey Manor, and which starts, you know, with this Monday coming, and Fent Farm, you know, which has just started happening this Friday. If you want that style of editing, where, you know, long patches of stuff are trimmed down to show more action per episode, let me know in the comments, and I will apply that style of editing to this farm as well. It's up to you. I'm quite happy to do either, but I want to give you guys a choice. With Fent Farm, it kind of makes sense to do, yeah, and same with Massey Manor, it makes sense to do an edited episode because it's once a week. So, you know, over the period of 1 month, you're only going to see 4 episodes, which means you're not really going to see much progress unedited on the farm. Whereas if we edit those episodes, we can cram 2 or 3 episodes worth of stuff into a single episode. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I want to be over there. So I fought all that traffic for nothing. There we go. And Big Bud needs to be edited simply because of the size of the fields. You know, they're so big that it would take multiple episodes just to do one job. But this is different. You know, this we can actually achieve stuff quite easily without the need for editing. It just means that if we do edit, progress will be faster. So like I said, it's entirely up to you guys. If you want to see the same editing that I use on my other farms applied to this one, we'll do that. If you're happy to remain with this style of recording, then we will do that. I'm going to record one more episode after this. So you have 2 episodes worth of comments to let me know. And then if you do want the editing to apply, we'll start applying it in 2 or 3 episodes' time. No, it won't let me tip, will it? Okay, so we'll have to create a manure pile. We can do that. We can stick it right there. There we go. This can be our manure pile just here. There we go. And now from that I can shovel into our greenhouses and get them operating at full capacity. I believe they need 3,000 litres of manure. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. We have 2 completely stocked, fully operational greenhouses to start generating a nice little bit of income for us. That'll help to manage the costs of all of our equipment and the seed and refuel costs and fertilizer costs and so on and so forth. It won't be much, but it will add up over time. Let's just see if we need to top up any of these greenhouses with water. Just a touch. And just a touch. There we go. Okay, so fantastic. Let's leave that trailer there. We'll leave the manure trailer there as well for a second. Where are we with the rest of our stuff on the farm? Let's take a look. So, crops. We have all of our fields planted. And they need another round of fertilization. So, we need the Magnum. Not the Magnum, sorry, the Optum. And we also need our weeder. So let's go get the weeder. There it is. Today, well, not today as I record, but today as this episode is out, today is the last day for entries to be submitted to the mod contest. I've seen a few of the entries, or I've seen teasers of a few of the entries. Some of the stuff is looking really, really nice. Oxygen David has posted a teaser trailer of the map that he's released for the Horsch Agro Centre competition, where some details have been provided of the actual Horsch Agro Centre, and the challenge for that particular contest is for the mappers to try and recreate it as accurately as possible, and then turn it into a working farm as well. Because I believe the Agro Centre is kind of like a test farm, so it's big concrete yards, test areas, and test fields. And I think the plan is to try and turn that into a farm that can be used within the game, but try and be as accurate as possible in terms of the details of the actual location. And there are some other various different contests going on as well. I've seen a couple of maps that have been entered into the just standard map contest, where the map can be anything. Some of those look, a couple of those look really, really nice. And I've seen Black Sheep Modding's entry, which will be a console available release when it eventually gets released. And my guess is that they're in the farm going for the Modern Day Classics pack, I think is the category they've entered in, with their Massey Ferguson pack. And they are a very, very strong contender, I think, because one of the prizes is a future DLC bundle, which makes me think that they have a very, very strong chance of actually claiming a DLC commission from Giants for the Massey pack. So it's possible that the Massey pack will not be released as a free mod. It may well get a little bit of polish and become a commercial DLC for consoles and PC. And if that's the case, I'd happily pay for it. I mean, I've seen the stuff in that pack from Black Sheep's video. 24 pieces of equipment, I think it is, in total. There's a couple of different versions, different models of tractors which can be configured in different ways as well. There's trailers, there's tools. There is a tracked trailer which just looks awesome. It looks fantastic. There is also a self-propelled mower in there as well. It's a really wonderful pack, and if I have to pay for that as a DLC purchase rather than getting it for free as a mod, I don't mind in the slightest, because Black Sheep have done so much fantastic work for console users that, quite frankly, I think they deserve it. I think they deserve the DLC commission, because their mods are amazing, and they have churned out so many as well. I mean, I know there are some modders out there who have done some modelling for consoles and have now stopped because they feel that they've been unfairly criticised, or just don't like the console community. There are others that have tried, have not passed through testing, or have released something that's been buggy and then just abandoned any future plans, so haven't patched what's been released, or just their attempt hasn't got through testing at all and they've given up. And then there are others that do throw out some mods here and there, but Black Sheep have consistently churned out a steady stream of very high quality mods. I mean, just off the top of my head, we've got the 70k grain trailers, the bale trailers, we've got the upcoming log trailer to complete that sort of trailer set. They're working on a 950 horsepower truck at the moment, and that looks awesome as well. They've also done a manure spreader, a feed mixer. They've done a series of bale tools, including the Kotec claws, which are fantastic. They've done the single axle baler pack and the quadrastack, or the quadrapack 4-stacker for baling. They've released 3 separate Joskin trailers, one of which we've just been using for manure. Brilliant, brilliant trailers. Love all 3 of them. They've done the Joskin water trailer that we've just filled up. They've done that as part of a 3 trailer pack for liquid transports. One does slurry, one does liquid fertilizer, one does water. They have also done the Joskin low loader pack, and there's other stuff out there that they've done that I can't remember off the top of my head without actually looking it up. And almost every single mod that they've done has been fantastic, and that's just the mods. Don't forget, they've also done Oldstream, the map. Fantastic map, really, really good fun map to play on. Absolutely love that map. And not only did they just release a great map, but they supported it as well. That map has been patched on 4 separate occasions now. They patched it 3 times to just address certain issues, like fixing a texture issue, fixing some AI bugs on some of the fields, and a couple of other little changes here and there. And then they expanded. They made it even bigger. They added in a huge new section, and that broke the nuggets. So they patched it again to fix the nuggets and to do a little bit of terrain resculpting on it as well. So 4 separate patches and an expansion to a fantastic map. You know, they don't just release stuff. They patch it constantly. If anything has any kind of issue, they get on it really quickly. They're working on another map at the moment as well, the Valley of the Oldstream, which is going to be like a full-sized map. Same size as this map. And I can't wait to see what they do with that. But the stuff that they do is fantastic. I mean, just with the grain trailer as another example, people didn't like the fact that it only tipped 15 degrees. And it didn't go high. So people complained and said we'd like it to tip higher. Black Sheep listened to that and they patched it so it tipped higher. It kind of also added in, at the same time, some additional colouring options so that you could really customise it. So a lot of people got a little bit confused as to why their truck suddenly reset to orange when they updated it. It was because they added in additional colour options. But then with the new 50 degree tip angle, that caused some issues when they were connected together, you know, when they were daisy chained together. So they patched it again, and this time they added in 2 unload options, one with a grain door and a 15 degree tip, one with a back door that swung wide out and a 50 degree tip. They were the 2 options. So they, yeah, that was their second patch. And then just to really make that even better, they added a triaxle dolly with a customizable position of where the dolly connects to the trailer. Yeah, these guys, they think things through. They like to group things together that all work with each other. And they do a fantastic job with the stuff. And if anything goes wrong, they're very quick to patch and fix those issues. So yeah, like I said, if their Massey Pack ends up winning a DLC commission and we have to pay to get the Massey Pack, I will gladly put my hand in my pocket and buy that pack, because I feel, simply for the sheer quality of the work that they churn out and the volume of work that they churn out for consoles, there's nobody out there that's churning out mods for consoles anywhere near as prolifically as they are, to that and to that standard on a consistent basis as well. I think they fully deserve the DLC commission, and I will happily put my hand in my pocket and give them their due reward and buy the Massey Pack if it is released commercially. I think they are fully deserving of that. That's my 2 cents anyway. So our worker is plodding away. Let's take over. So I was having a little drink while I was chatting away there, which is why I wasn't controlling. I was letting the worker do the job for me. Oh, this thing's filthy. I need to give it a clean. Look at the inside. And this is the other thing as well. I can understand... This is one of those other silly little things. I can understand maybe getting a little bit of mud on the steering wheel, you know, if you've got muddy hands. I can understand mud on the floor and on some of the side panels. I can maybe even understand some of the mud on the controls, again, if you've got muddy hands, but muddy seat. I'm not standing on the seats. I'm not, wiping my hands on the seats. The mud on the seats has always been one of those strange things to me. I mean, look, even there, look. Yeah, well, I suppose, again, you could say maybe maybe it's mud on the clothing that's transferring, but you get mud inside the cab in places that would be hard pressed to explain how the mud got there. Let's have another look. There. How is that mud going to get there? What am I touching to get mud there? I really don't understand. Yeah, dear. Some of the things about this game sometimes just make me chuckle. They just seem to defy logic. Have a little wiggle. Alright, we're next after here. Field 20, and then the really long field 1 and 19. And then after that, we'll be ready to harvest. Potentially. We may actually need to tend to our cows before then, in terms of providing them more food. Which way are we facing? There's the farm, okay. Oh, yeah, also, I am actually rendering at the moment in 4K on my settings. Now, I'm not seeing 4K on my TV because I don't have a 4K display. So, for me, on my TV, it's only rendering in 1080p, so 2K. But I've chosen 4K settings for this episode, and I'm going to see if it makes the file size bigger when I come to edit the recording and add my intro and outro to it. So I'm expecting a file size between 3.5 and 4 gig. So if it's bigger than that, I'll know that it's recording more data. Which means potentially this could be a much higher quality visual episode, although it will still get dumbed down a bit with the compression algorithms that Sony use to compress it into an MP4 file, and then YouTube will probably do a little bit further compression on that, maybe. We'll see, but yeah, I'll be curious to see just how big a file size we're going to end up with at the end of this episode, and whether or not it's going to translate through as a higher viewing quality for you guys in the end product. So you'll have to let me know again in the comments if this episode has looked crisper and sharper than previous episodes, because as I say, this one is being created supposedly with 4K switched on, but because I don't have a 4K display, it may still only render it in 1080p. We'll have to wait and see. Right, let's check on the animals. So our cows are looking pretty good. They're fully productive, fully cleaned, plenty of water, straw, grass, and power food. They're good to go. So how much money do we have? Not much. I was toying with the idea of maybe getting some sheep started, but it doesn't look like we can afford to do that. What about crops? We have 28,000 litres of soybeans, and we have a pretty good price for soybeans, actually. 17.6. Where is the old grain store? It's all the way at the top, isn't it? Well, we don't need any more equipment just yet, but we could do with an extra field. How much is field 6? It's 257,000. Yeah, we can't raise that kind of money just yet. We're still a way off. There's our Juno on patrol. So let's put this equipment away. We aren't going to need water for the cows for days yet, so we can afford to leave this water tanker up here. So we'll slot that in. Just straighten her a bit. There we go. There we go, fantastic. And we'll do the same with the truck. It's the only reason we're ever going to need this trailer is to transfer manure from the cows to these greenhouses. So I may as well leave it up here where I know it's going to be. And we can potentially look at getting a second one of those trailers once we get more cows, and maybe even get a wheel loader and leave it there to deal with all of our shoveling needs. That could be kind of cool. Get a wheel loader on the map. I'm just thinking, and I don't think we've ever used a wheel loader on one of our farms before. I don't think we've really had a need to. There's the pigs. I'm umming and ahhing about getting some pigs going as well, because I mean they would be useful in generating extra manure and slurry. Oh, that's the point. We're going to need to buy a slurry spreader at some point in the future, aren't we? I need to drop off these. I should have left these forks over. No, I'll leave them here, because if we do get a manure spreader, we'll need the forks over here as well. So we'll leave these just here, just to the side. There we go. That's the perfect place for them. Awesome. And how much slurry do we have? 38,000 litres. So one of the other things I've been toying with the idea of getting is the Holmer Terra variant, because we could use that for slurry and we could use that for manure as well. I think that would be very, very useful. And it is 250,000 plus attachments. So for manure, we would need an extra 43,000, and for slurry, now with this, the slurry attachment here is 54,000, but it doesn't work as a slurry spreader. It only works in conjunction with the attached cultivator as well. However, we can use it to tow that Zunhammer trailer, and it effectively gives us double the capacity. So that holds 15,780, and this holds 21,000. So basically, it gives us a 36,000 litre, 37,000 litre capacity for that in total, which is pretty awesome. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. It's expensive though, as you can see. It's going to cost us a fair bit of money. So maybe we'll work on that before we get another field. Who knows? Maybe the other field will help speed up getting the rest of the equipment. These are all questions that we need to ponder. And we'll do that over the break. We're going to call it an episode here. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, let me know in the comments about the style of recording. Do you want to stay with this style, or do you want to move to an edited version for American Outback? I'm going to do one more episode like this, and then I'll, based on your comments, we'll then either stay like this or start switching to edited. So please do let me know in the comments. And if you're not sure what the edited looks like, do check out the latest episode of Fent Farm, which went live a couple of days ago. Do check out tomorrow's episode of Massey Manor, which will be the first one of those to use that. And do check out the Big Bud Farm series. They're all edited now, and that'll give you a good idea of what this would look like if we went down that route. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will catch you back on American Outback in a few days' time.